今日はですね、OpenCTIを展開しているフィリグラン社の CEO であるサミュエルさんに来ていただきましたので、いろいろとお話を聞いていきたいというふうに思います。Okay, Samuel, first of all, would you please introduce yourself to the audience?
Yeah, thank you very much for welcoming me. So I'm Samuel. I'm the CEO and the co-founder of Filigran. It's a European cybersecurity company, and we're the software vendor behind OpenCTI and OpenBAS.
Okay, that's great. We welcome you here. Thank you for coming to Japan this time. And we have several questions for you. Okay. First one is, would you provide more details about our background of cybersecurity experience you have done in the past?
Yeah, so I used to work in cybersecurity since 15 years, and mainly I worked for ANSSI, which is the French cybersecurity agency, same as the NCSC in the UK or the CISA in the US, and I used to lead the cyber threat intelligence team there.
Okay, that's fantastic. And you are kind of inventor of OpenCTI, which we believe. And would you please share us how you came up with this idea and how you started this project?
Yeah, so when I was at ANSSI, we had like a very huge problem in terms of knowledge management. And when it comes to cyber threats, it comes also like with knowledge aspects. So we experienced issues by bringing together more like the technical and the tactical data and the strategic data, because historically those kind of knowledge is really like separated. You have on one way the IOCs and all the technical signatures you can use to manage cyber threat, and you have on the other way all the strategic about what are the campaigns, what are the TTPs, the victims. And so we really struggled about like bringing all those data together and being able like to leverage and operationalize those data. And so this is where OpenCTI came from, about like bringing together in the same platform in a structured way all the data and the knowledge you can get about cyber threat intelligence.
Okay, I understand. Thank you very much. And what was the challenge when you started this company?
Yeah, so when we started to work on OpenCTI, even like before Filigran existed, so we started that on our spare time, and we developed the product as an open source platform. At the very, very beginning of the history of this platform, we gathered a very important and massive community worldwide. We had, MITRE Corporation, a lot of people starting to be interested in such platform, because it was for the first time that someone started like to build something on top of the STIC standard, which is quite important right now in the cyber threat intelligence industry. And so the first challenges was more about like building that product, answering the needs of this community. And then after 1.5 years, when the community started to be very, very important, the absence of not having a company backing that, being able like to speed up on the roadmap delivery, it started to be a bar to adoption to our product. Also, we had like ambition with like more broader suites, because we understood that we built systems where you have like all the knowledge, and that can be very, very useful for organizations. But to close the loop, we also like need other systems to be able to take that data and to do something with that. And we'll talk like, I think maybe later about this vision about what is threat management. But so we saw all of this, and we really like decided to start like the company. And I think most of the challenges was at the beginning to go from like 2 people working together on a single tool to a team of like full-fledged like 80 people. Half of those 80 people are working in research and development. That was like the most important part. And then like more right now, it's all about AI use cases and all the data part.
Okay, I understand. And we have been working with many customers in Japan, and they are trying to fully utilize the threat intelligence, but it is sometimes very difficult, so that they are flooded with information, and they don't know how to deal with those information. So that if you can give some advice for Japanese practitioner in the cyber threat intelligence, what they should start with and what kind of challenges that they should overcome in their phased approach.
Yeah. So everything about like the cyber threat intelligence, it's all about the cyber threat intelligence lifecycle, which obviously begins with planning and then like the collection and then the exploitation of the data. But what we saw in the industry is you have a lot of different sources. You have, your attack surface management, you have dark web monitoring, you have the commercial feeds, you have the open source feeds. And the first challenge is really like aggregating those data in a standardized way, because this is the only way that downstream and down the road, you will be able to really operationalize this data. If it's not structured properly, if the taxonomy is not like fully respected, you will really struggle that having, operationalizing this data. So the first thing is really about like gathering all those this in a very structured and with a unified data model. Then the second thing is really like to think about your intelligence requirements and your collection requirements, which means basically what do you want to do with your threat intelligence program? Do you want to, strengthen your detection capabilities or your incident response capabilities? Do you want to write reports for the senior leadership? Do you want to do risk analysis? And all of this will shape the way you will start your journey with a threat intelligence program, which kind of source you would like to choose, which kind of like tools you will bring into the mix. And once you have that, you can start and iterate. Generally, we saw like a kind of like 3 steps roadmap. The first one is always about technical. So I want to do better detection. I want to do a threat-driven incident response. Then like the second one, which more about like focusing on, TTPs and campaigns to be able like to adjust your security roadmap, because you have like a huge roadmap over the next 5 years. And you would like to take into account the threats to be able to prioritize that roadmap. This is the second one. And then like the third one is more like the threat-informed approach, or like threat-driven, which is like all your cybersecurity programs, all the tools and the things you're building is driven and feeded by the threat intelligence you can get from your threat intelligence program.
I see, understand. And hearing your story, I feel like there's a certain level of maturity for the customer. And what kind of maturity level you require for the customer to fully utilize OpenCTI?
I will be really transparent with you. We have built the product initially, yes, for people that can start their journey with threat intelligence programs, so it can be at the beginning, but generally like the entities that are starting such program have already a kind of like, let's say, medium-high level of maturity with, let's say, security operations, so all the SecOps aspect. What we're trying to do is to, let's say, put like the bar lower, so OpenCTI can be leveraged by even like less mature team. And this is what we're seeing in Europe. Like people are just starting their program. They don't have like a full-fledged threat intelligence team. They just have like a few people doing like vulnerability management, detection engineering, and incident response. And they're leveraging the platform in a very good way, because it's helped them to mature their threat intelligence program. And on our roadmap, and what we intend to do in the future, is really like to turn the platform, that is a very powerful platform, but as you just said, that can have like a kind of adoption road, to turn the platform more as your daily assistant for a threat landscape. And then like, even if you're not a major customer, you just like put a few information, we select the sources for you, and then it's becoming like valuable day one, and then like it's really easy to use.
Okay, understand. Thank you very much. And before we have this conversation, we did some discussion about GenAI. So would you please give the audience about your plan for the GenAI adoption in the product?
Yeah. I think all the practitioners in cyber threat intelligence have like a very common problems. And so for GenAI, what we try to tackle is we're like having different use cases into the platform. I would like to take 3 examples. The first one is everyone is struggling with unstructured data. So which means like PDF files, like even like Excel files is not really like structured, and you need to structure that to sticks. So the first use case is really like to increase our natural language processing capabilities with GenAI to be able like to properly modelize unstructured data. That's the first thing, because it's the challenge our industry is trying to tackle, and even like the big ones, they're really struggling with tackling that. So we're bringing GenAI into a mix of technologies to be able to address this challenge. Then like the second one is when you have like your cybersecurity stack, when we're talking to a SIEM or an XDR, generally it's technical analysts that are doing stuff in those kind of platforms. Into OpenCTI is quite like different. You have technical security engineers, but you also have like non-technical people focusing, for instance, on geopolitical threats, because they're focusing on Russian APTs or Chinese APTs. And those non-technical users, they will need at some point to be able like to really ask simple questions to the platform, and the platform can answer without knowing, for instance, the 6 model. So what are the latest campaigns that are targeting Japan and, for instance, the energy industry over the last quarter, and that is attributed to Russia? That's the kind of questions the platform can already answer to you, but you have like to know where to go. You have to know the 6 model, you have to know which filters you have to bring in. So we want to bring like a more easy way to access to the data. And then like the third example is more about correlation. We want, obviously, all our goal is to make that platform proactive, because historically, from 10 years, cyber threat intelligence has been really, really reactive. Reactive in the means you bring IOCs, oh, you have been breached, you have an alert. Okay, it will definitely ease your work with incident response and qualification. We want the platforms to be really proactive. And so we're bringing Gen AI to what we call our correlation engine, which will help like to be really, really proactive in terms of, oh, we see something is ongoing, maybe in your industry. It doesn't affect you yet, but we can already alert you because it's something, for instance, like very similar as the incident you have in the past. So you may be targeted by that campaign. Or for instance, if you have an incident already and we saw that something is very similar in the platform, we can alert you properly. So it's really also about like bringing more proactivity to the platform.
Okay, understand. Very interesting. This can be a little bit tricky question, but we know that many organizations, government or enterprises, they are spending millions of dollars into cybersecurity protection, but still we see many incidents every year. The number does not decrease, but rather maybe increasing, and the size of our incidents, the financial damage is getting bigger. So what causes the situation, from your perspective, and in order for us to change the situation, how we should use solution like OpenCTI?
That's a very good question. And it's exactly the purpose of what we're doing at Filigran. And I think we're bringing something quite like new on the market. What we call like threat management is like we are in the anticipation field. Obviously, you have a lot of actors in the anticipation field. But what brings Filigran very unique on the market is we're really complementary with the big ones. And we're friends with everyone, like CrowdStrike, Palo Alto, Microsoft, all of them, just because they are not in that field exactly. They are more like in detection and response. They're doing like some kind of like threat intelligence. But what we're trying to do, and the way you have like to leverage, is really like relying on 3 pillars. The first pillar is the knowledge. You need to know what is going on in your threat landscape. And I don't mean just dark web monitoring or just commercial feeds. I mean your threat landscape, external, internal. You need the knowledge about your previous incidents. You need all this knowledge you need to know. Then once you know that, you need to test your security posture against that. That's really, really important. If you want to close the loop about, I have the knowledge, obviously I use that knowledge for detection, reaction, etc. But you need to use and leverage that knowledge to test if your posture is good or not good. Answering a very simple question about you was breached 1 year ago. Are you sure that if you have like the exact same incidents using and leveraging the same techniques and the same tactics, you're good today to face the same incident? So you need this end-to-end testing about like permanently testing against the new threats, against the new tactics, against what you have in terms of knowledge. And then the last one is you need to act on that. So you need to take action. You need to take actions means, okay, I have the loop, I have the knowledge. I know my security posture is good or maybe it's not good. And I need to change my configuration. I need to do some changes in my environment. I need to implement new detection measures, etc. And so you need to have this kind of very short loop of acting on the threat knowledge that you have. And right now, to be honest, even most mature organizations are really struggling with putting in place that loop to benefit from threat intelligence to the configuration changes.
Okay, understand. Thank you very much. Okay, the final question is about please share your plan for Japanese market for the next 3 to 5 years, your plan and your idea.
Yeah. Filigran by design is really a global company. We have a team in the United States already, and we have a team in the Asia Pacific region for the moment that is based in Australia. And Japan is definitely one of our main priorities, and we would like to invest in that market. just because we think, as I think any other countries, that what we are bringing here on the table is really like, basics right now. It's not let's say the cherry on the cake or something like this. It's really like, the basics that every organizations need to address. So we have the plan to have a team there with local people. And from 2 to 3 years, I think we'll have a great team here and ready to be able to help our partners, but also hopefully our customers.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you. Yeah.